Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. How we feeling this morning, Nick family? And 172. I'm not going to even say more than that. We'll get into it. I'll give you my takes on the game. We'll go over individual and team stats. We'll preview our next game Saturday in Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Clippers. If you remember, right, we lost to them in the Garden. They hit that shot to tie the game up, went into overtime and won. We'll be playing them Saturday. Russell Westbrook is over there. But anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. And then I'll talk a little bit about the playoffs and some things that I've seen in the Sacramento game that I think we need to shore up or basically validates one of the concerns I had going into the playoffs. All right, let's get right into it. Shout out to those in the chat. Shout out to the replay gang. I appreciate you guys watching after the show when you can. And gals, appreciate you. All right, let's get into the setup real quick. The Knicks came into the game 28-39, 11 games over 500, fifth in the Eastern Conference, 9-1 over their last 10. And coming off that loss to Charlotte, Sacramento came into last night's game 39-26, second in the Western Conference, 7-3 over their last 10. And they won their game prior to facing the Knicks. We started Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall, Mitchell Robinson. This is an error. Davion Mitchell didn't start. De'Aaron Fox started. Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, and Domantas Sabonis. All right. I'm gonna get right into it. The Knicks did not come out sharp. I don't know if we want to still talk about the double overtime game to Boston. I don't know if we want to talk about jet lag. The bottom line is the Knicks lost to Charlotte and they came into this game against the Kings and they weren't sharp. They did not shoot well in the first half. They shot 35.3% from the field in the first half, 25% from the three-point line, and 64.7% from the free throw line. We were down 16 at the half. Okay. Randall was 2 for 9 in that first half, 2 of 6 from three. Barrett, 3 for 11, 0 for 5 from three. Grimes, even though Grimes heated up in that second half, 0 for 3 from three in the first half. And we gave up 69 first half points. I think it was 53, 69 at the half. That's a hole. That's a hole that now you have to dig yourself um, out of. Now, credit to the Knicks. We've been watching this team all season. They're going to fight back. They're going to get back into the game. You kind of expected it. I expected it, right? Second half, no Brunson. Apparently, he aggravated, his foot injury in the first half. He didn't play in the second half. Okay. They was giving us the business, okay? Sabonis had Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein in the blender. They still turning around this morning. I mean, he was really, he was really hurting us. However, the Knicks came out in the second half, you know, and made it a game. Shout out to Grimes. Didn't shoot that well. There's a difference between shooting well and playing well. Didn't shoot that well, 0 for 3 in that first half, but in that second half, he was one of, if not the main reason we were able to get back in that game, right? With his timely three-point shooting, mixing it up, going to the lane, stripping the ball. Grimes played well. Hart, obviously, to me, Brunson and Hart were sharp from the beginning. Those 2 guys were sharp from the beginning. Everybody else, not so much. They made it a game. We fought back to get into the game. We tied it at like 96. I want to say with around 4 minutes left. I may not be accurate on that, but the bottom line was we fought to get back in the game despite the fact that we weren't defending well, we weren't shooting well, we weren't shooting the three well, we weren't hitting our free throws. I think we shot about 65% for the game, right? But the Knicks were able to get back into the game and partly off of just putting up as many shots as you can, you know, getting second chance opportunities. I mean, the Knicks were huge on the offensive boards. I think they had 23 offensive rebounds. but only 17 shots out of it. And that's where I think, poor shooting is one thing, but poor shot selection is part of what leads to poor shooting. I don't think the Knicks took 53s last night. They shoot, miss, get the offensive rebound, a three. Shoot, miss, get the offensive rebound, a three. Like, that's not the only shot available in a game. I just thought they was just jacking them up too much, despite the fact that we weren't hitting them. Go to the lane, try to get a foul. I mean, that part of it, I didn't quite understand. I thought the Knicks could have did a better job in terms of the shots that, they took, but I'm gonna give them credit. They were able to get back into the game and to tie this game up. Game is tied, turnover city. The Knicks had 6 turnovers in that 4th quarter. 6. And they didn't even have that many turnovers for the game. I think they had 12. Half of them was in the 4th quarter, right? Randall had 2 in the 4th quarter. Hart, very reliable. I'm not gonna get on Hart. He played. He had 15 rebounds in that game, but he had 2 turnovers in the 4th quarter. Randall with a critical turnover. You know, I mean, Randall's been playing lights out, but that's just a part of his game that has to get and we don't see it as frequently as we've seen it in the past, but every now and then it comes up. Critical moment, he has the ball, turnover. I get it. They was crowding him. They swiped down on the ball. Maybe it was a foul. I get it. But I'm just tired of seeing it. We were up 4, excuse me, down 4. I believe it was under 30 seconds left. We get the ball to Randall for an opportunity to be down 1, 2-1. He hit the basket. Maybe it's an and 1. Maybe we're down 1. Turnover. You know? You can't have that. In the 4th quarter, 17 we took 17 threes in the 4th quarter. We made 5. Randall 0 for 3. Barrett 1 for 3. Quickly was 1 for 11 for this game. 1 for 3 in the 4th quarter, and Obi 1 for 4 in the 4th quarter. People get on the Knicks about their ISO offense. I don't have a problem with it because one thing Randall and Brunson does, and Randall did it last night, is he was crowded, he was double teamed, he passed the ball. He passed the ball. Matter of fact, to me, I thought he passed it too much. There was a couple of times he was already in the key, he's passing it out. Why? Guys are not hit other than Grimes, who's hitting shots? Put it up, go to the free throw line. But he passed it out, and what happens? A miss. And this is what I'm saying in terms of getting a glimpse into the playoffs. This was one of my concerns. They're going to do their best to try to take Randall and Brunson out the game. Now, you can argue that they were able to crowd Randall because Brunson wasn't there. That's fair. That's fair. They're going to crowd him even with Brunson there. They're going to crowd Randall. They're going to crowd Brunson. They're going to double team. They're going to trap. You're playing a team at the very least 4 times in a row. They're going to take away your best players. That's what the playoffs are about. Do we have enough shooting on this team? Timely shots. Do we have enough players on this team who are going to make the opposition pay for doubling Randall and doubling Brunson and taking the ball out of their hands? That's a concern. Stan Van Gundy brought up a very good point last night. The Knicks are top 5 in offensive rating despite the fact that they don't shoot well. Effective field goal percentage in the 20s, three-point shooting percentage in the 20s, free throw shooting percentage in the 20s compared to, the 30 teams in the NBA. How are they scoring? They're scoring off of second chance opportunities. They're scoring because they get up a lot of threes, even though they may not shoot it at a high percentage. They get second chance opportunities, right? Last night, they were able to get, I believe, 23 fast break points. This is how the Knicks are scoring, not because we're a great shooting team. And that's a concern I have going into the playoffs. Last night in the fourth quarter, we only took 2 free throws. And you can argue that that's because the officials weren't calling it, or you can argue that the Knicks went away from what they were doing earlier in the game and got 3-point happy. So in the first quarter, we shot free throws. In the second quarter, 11 free throws. In the third quarter, 12 free throws. And in the fourth quarter, 2. Like, to me, it's just that type of awareness. Like, we're not shooting well. Let me try to get to the line. Let me try to do something. And I get it. They were crowding the lane. I'm not saying the lane was wide open to drive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was the case all game. They were crowding Randall all game, but we were still able to get to the line. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that in the fourth. And before I get to the chat, at the end of the day, they had Fox, and we didn't have anybody who can match what he did. He's number 1 in crunch time points. Number 1 in the league in crunch time points. Brunson is number 2 in the league in crunch time points. But as we pointed out, he didn't play in the second half, so he wasn't available. He's number 2 in fourth quarter points behind Kyrie Irving. Last night, he scored 15 of his 23 points in the fourth quarter. And he had a good shooting night. If you look at he wasn't very efficient. Even from the free throw line, he shot like 50 something percent. But when they needed him the most, they got the ball in his hand, and talk about quick. Josh Hart, Grimes, it didn't matter. He was able to get to the basket, and we didn't have that. And that's what you need to close out games. Again, let's not underestimate Brunson not being in the game, right? In my opinion, if this is a 7-game series, the Knicks win that series, in my opinion. They're just not able to keep the Knicks off the board. There was one possession where the Knicks had 5, 6, maybe even 7 offensive rebounds, but we couldn't hit a shot. We could not hit a shot um, last night. We did outscore them 33-31 in the fourth, but obviously outscoring them by 2 points when you were down by 16 it's just not enough. It just wasn't enough. All right, let me check in with the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Johnny Davis, I appreciate you rocking with me this morning. Hello, Queen. Somebody probably already said it. Foul shooting didn't help. Funny thing is, we still could and should have won down the stretch. Down the stretch. Thomas Banks, great players close every night for the most part. For the most part. Um, all right. Not Hart or Grimes. Fox abused IQ and Hart and Grimes. He took his turn. He took his turn in that fourth quarter. Go back and watch the fourth quarter. He took everybody, right? We tied it up 96 all. He scored 7 straight points by himself. Okay, Craig, one thing I've learned over the years, and it hasn't changed, it's been seen with Marbury, Mello, Brunson, Randall, RJ, don't get foul calls. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna argue with that. AJ Buller, appreciate you. Hope all is well. Grimes need more touches. He has some playmaking ability we can utilize more often. Listen, Grimes is up and down. You get Grimes more touches, and you might get a 22-point game. You might get an 8-point game. That's just where he is in his development. He's right where he's supposed to be as a second-year player, but he's just not somebody you can count on game in and game out right now. But last night, in that second half, he was money. He played very well for us. The Knicks had 13 turnovers. What is the complaint? Randall had 4 turnovers is a lot. And it's just Alexa now wants to chime in on the Knick game. You see what I'm saying? 4 turnovers, in my opinion, is a lot for the game. And particularly when you get the turnover. That last turnover um, was a critical turnover. Okay. Real King, Knicks need to avoid stumbling to the playoffs. I mean, the Knicks have been streaky all season. That was one of the things, when we went on that 8-game winning streak, 9-game winning streak, excuse me, and we lost the game. I said, I hope this doesn't turn into a 5-game losing streak because that's how it's been with the Knicks. But I'm pretty confident they're going to bounce back against the Clippers. Look, the Knicks are still a good team. Good teams lose. Good teams shoot poorly. Good teams lose 2 games in a row, right? So I'm not in my opinion, the Knicks lost the game, but this is not changing my opinion of the Knicks overall. We are still a very good team. We just did not shoot well last night, you know? Okay, Jalbino 59. I respect Julius' game and he is our best player, but it seems that he plays a bit selfishly under national spotlights. Really? Really? I thought Randall should have been more aggressive. I thought he was passing too much. I also think, one of the things with Brunson out is, with Brunson and Randall is just playing the power forward spot. He's not facilitating the offense. He's just playing power forward. With Brunson out, he chose to be the facilitator. I felt like he could have gave the ball to Quickly. Let Quickly facilitate and you still play your same role. You know, now he's feeling Brunson is out. He got to bring the ball up the court. He has to draw the double team and look for, and look for open shooters. And I just felt like, you know, give the ball to Quickly, stay in your role. Brunson Quickly is going to take Brunson. Well, you stay in your role. You don't have to facilitate the offense for us, right? And I just thought that he got into that last year and a year before mode where he's facilitating the offense instead of just being Julius Randle, letting somebody else facilitate the offense. But I did not think he was being selfish. I just felt like you don't need to be facilitating the offense. Craig, when RJ struggles, people want him traded. IQ struggles, it was just a bad game. I mean, listen, there's a difference between struggling for a game or two and struggling for a long stretch. I think there's a difference. Thomas Banks, Deuce played well. Fox, yes, I thought he had some good moments against Fox. You're right. Craig, are we still giving IQ to Supermax? I don't think anybody was saying the Supermax, but I'm still signing IQ. He had a bad game. He was 1 for 11. He had a bad game, it happens. I'm still so because he had this bad game, we're gonna forget everything else he's done this season? And that's the thing, you know, when a player is playing good over a stretch, "Oh, he's the best player in the NBA. They have a bad game, we need to get ri" I mean, listen, let's not jump out the window. We're still a good team. Quickly is still a good player. RJ still coming along, he just had a hiccup of a game. You know what I mean? We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Sherwin, good morning. IQ is not as bad as last night, and he's not as good as the Boston game. If I can use IQ to get a 6-8 wing, I'm all in. Listen, what if you can use Grimes to get a 6-8 wing? IQ is further along than Grimes. I mean, I'm projecting Grimes to be a very good player. He may or may not. How many players have flashed in their second year and then leveled off? You know what I mean? Um, I don't think it'll come to that. I think we'll be able to keep both of those guys, and hopefully we do. Real King, both teams are first round exits. I hope not. But that shooting, that what is the rest of the players on this team gonna do when they take Randall and or Brunson out the game? Thomas Bank hits free throws. We win this game. I do think free throws um, was part of it. All right. Nah, actually ain't. More deuce and or some D rolls and Fournier would have been nice change of pace. Fox can be the best point guard in the game. He can be elite at every aspect. Athletic, fast, quick, great handle. I think the rotation is set right now. I think you start dusting off people at the end of the bench. What are you saying? Oh, I don't believe in you guys. Let me bring Derrick Rose, who hasn't played since game 8. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. All right. Um, David L, I do think Mitch can play better defense than he was. I think Sabonis is just he's a load. He's a load for everybody, and he has really good footwork, down there. And it just goes to show, you don't have to be athletic. You don't have to finish over people, but he can finish, he can finish around the basket. He has good footwork. He knows how to, get the defender off balance, and he's strong. Basically, just pushed um, Mitchell Robinson and Ihart out the way and just bullied them down low. You know, I'm not sure how much more Mitch could have done, but he didn't play well in the first quarter half. In the second half, we'll get into it. He only played 7 minutes. So I think that was due to injury, not just because of his poor play, because in the 7 minutes that he played, he had more points and rebounds in that 7 minutes than he had the entire first half. And obviously in the first half, he was in foul trouble as well. This is the lead tracker. I love this. It gives us a visual of the game, and you can see the Knicks basically led first 2 minutes. Basically, and after that, it was all Kings. The Knicks, tied it up at 96 somewhere in that 4th quarter. The Knicks' biggest lead was 4. Um, Sacramento's biggest lead was 21. The game was only tied once. I think that was at 96-96, and there was only 1 lead change, and that was probably in the first quarter. All right. Barrett, 25.7 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 39.1% from the field, just 12.5% from 3. Randall, 23 points, 10 rebounds. He also had 5 assists, 36.4% from the field, 16.7% from 3. Brunson in the first half, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 50% from the field, 60% from the three-point line. Grimes, 19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 53.8% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. He just really rebounded in that second half. Um, and was the main reason we were able to get one of the main reasons we were able to get back in that game. The Knicks shot 41.6% from the field, 26% from 3, 64.5% from the free throw. The free throws continues to be an issue for the Knicks. It's gonna bite them. It's gonna bite them. Sacramento bonus, a triple-double from the center spot. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, and this is not an anomaly. He's averaging 7 assists for I believe he leads them in assists. He's averaging 7 on the season. Shot 60% from the field. Fox, 23 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, um, 4 steals, 56.3% from the field. 15 of his 23 points was in the 4th quarter. Monk, 19.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 3-pointers, and Lyles came out of nowhere, 16.6 like, these are the things that kill a team. When somebody you don't like, what would like, just for example, Obi Toppin or Miles McBride, who you're not expecting to score that much, partly due to the minutes they play, come out and drop 16. That really helps. When you get points, unexpected points. 16, and I'm not saying Lyles is a bad player. I'm not saying that, but he's not averaging 16 points a game, right? 16.6 rebounds, went to the line 7 times, hit all of them. They shot 52.4% from the field, 31.3% from the three-point line, 75% from the free throw line. Let me just see before I check back in with the chat if there's anything else I want to point out. Randall from the three-point line, 2 for 12. RJ, 1 for 8. Quentin Grimes was 4 for 10. Emmanuel Quickly, 1 for 8 from the three-point line. Obi Toppin, 1 for 5. I don't even know how many minutes, that's cut off for, a little bit OB play, but he was able to get up 5 3-pointers in that time, and they weren't bad shots either. Josh Hart, 9 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. Did have 3 turnovers, though, but he was sharp, from the gate. McBride gave us some good defensive minutes. I think sometimes McBride does dribble the ball too much. Like, move it. What are you trying to, like, you trying to set yourself up for a shot? Like, move the ball. Yeah, it just wasn't a good, shooting night, um, for the Knicks. Alright, let me check back in. JJ, good morning. Get me shot makers, not even shooters, shot makers. JJ said, "I don't even care how you get it. Just make the shot." Yeah, yeah. The coolest 718 told you they should rest Brunson. Look at him now. I mean, I'm all for rest if he was injured. What I was saying is that if he wasn't injured and you're just gonna take him out, just because you're playing Charlotte, on any given night, any team, you can't take any team lightly. But obviously, if he's hurt, absolutely. Why did we have Fox Hart on Fox in critical moments? Make no sense because Hart is one of our better defenders. But it made no difference. Um, the way he was. He was just a blur. I don't even think it mattered. I thought Grimes, excuse me, McBride gave us good minutes. Um, do you play McBride down the stretch and you take out a Quickly or you take out a Grimes or you take out a Hart? Maybe Quickly. You take Quickly out. He shot, 1 for 11, but that's a tough call. East Blue Drew, those turnovers were costly. Yes, they were. Yeah. Tibbs needs to take notice. The good things happen when the ball is in Grimes' hands. Please take Grimes out of the corner. Listen, the same thing with Quickly. Grimes is not as good as he was last night, right? And he's not as bad as when he goes 0 for 8. I think Grimes is right in his role. I don't think we need to do anything different with Grimes. He's not ready. He's up and down. I don't think you create more opportunities for somebody who's up and down, right? And whether he's in the corner or not, his role is the same. Hit the 3, and if they come out on you, attack the closeout. Once you attack the closeout, everything opens up. You can shoot it, you can pass it, you know? Angel Torres, Nick's best three-point shooter, not playing in games like last night. Everybody was missing wide open threes. Fournier should have got some minutes. That's a tough call, you know. Some coaches will do it like that. Most coaches, when they have their rotation, to take somebody who hasn't played, and I can't tell you how long, and put him in a game like that. Maybe. Craig, that King motion offense is deadly. Yeah. I mean, they're number 1 in offensive, um, rating. Stafford Don, salute Staffer. Hopefully you're on tonight, 9 PM. Blessed morning. The chat, disappointing loss, but dust it off. On to the next. Let's go. I still believe. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, are we down on the Knicks right now? Or is it just a loss? For me, it's just a loss. The way they fought and got back into that game without Brunson, being down 16, shooting as poorly as they did, tells me a lot. I don't know if it tells me any more than what I already knew. These guys are players. JJ, Randall, Quickly, and RJ were awful last night. Surprising we even made it close considering. Um, yeah, yeah. Sherman, if you had a bad offensive game, your defense should not suffer. IQ was bad on both ends last night. Yeah, he definitely wasn't as good as usual, but he did have some good possessions, um, as well. All right, let me just see. Sorry, guys. I like to get to the chat. All right, let's get into the team stats. The Knicks out rebounded Sacramento. That was clear. The Knicks got every offensive rebound. in that game. I think they, for the offensive rebounds, I think it was 23, I'm not sure, but they out-rebounded them bad on the offensive end, um, of the court. Again, we went over the shooting numbers, not, not great. Second chance points, this is the second game in a row that the Knicks, were negative excuse me, points in the paint. But it was still close. 56 for the Knicks, 60 for Sacramento. Second chance points, 17 for the Knicks, 4 for um Sacramento. And the thing about it is the Knicks had 23 offensive rebounds and was only able to get 17 points off of it because they just weren't able to score off of those offensive rebounds. Fast break points, the Knicks had 23. That's another thing that kept the Knicks in the game. Fast break points, 23-7, right? Bench points, 22-14. 22-14. I think Hart had 9. I would have to look at the stats again, but the bottom line is Quickly and Hart, Josh Hart lead that second unit. And Quickly not scoring, you're not going to get the bench points that you usually do. All right. Knicks are still fifth in the Eastern Conference. They're now 3 games though behind Cleveland. Cleveland has won 3 straight. The Knicks have lost 2 straight, going in opposite directions right now, right? And the Knicks are 3.5 games out of the play-in. So we can't get too comfortable. 3.5 games out of the play-in. And we got 3 more games on this West Coast trip. The Clippers, the Lakers, and Portland. Okay. They're not juggernauts by any stretch of the imagination. But if we have to play those games without Brunson, we're going to need other players on this team to step up big time. The Knicks are, 1 game above Brooklyn. Brooklyn lost last night, so they were able to hold that 1 point lead over Brooklyn in the sixth spot. All right, Saturday, and then I'll check back in with the chat before we get out of here. We play the Los Angeles Clippers. Right now, the Knicks are 10 games over 500, 39-29, still fifth in the Eastern Conference, 8-2 over our last 10. We've lost our last 2 games. Clippers, 35-33, fifth in the Eastern Conference, 4-6 over their last 10. They won their last 2 games. We're going to start either Brunson or Quickly. Grimes, Barrett, Randall, Robinson, pretty much the same. And basically, if Brunson can't go Quickly, we'll get into the starting lineup, and that hurts our bench. When Quickly's in the starting lineup, it hurts our bench. For the Clippers, Russell Westbrook, was bought out by I forgot, was it Indy? I forgot who he was bought out by. Um, but he signed with the Clippers, right? So he's now their starting point guard. So we got Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Jr., and Zubac. That's a formidable starting lineup, you know? The 2 best players on the floor, in my opinion, will not be playing for the Knicks, you know? And even though the Knicks are doing better in their respective conference and the Knicks are doing better over the last 10, this is gonna be a game. They're a different team now with Westbrook. He's a downhill type player. I'm not worried about him shooting the lights out, but being able to keep him out the paint, that's a concern. We're 0-1 against them. Obviously, I talked about it in the beginning. They beat us at the Garden. We thought we had the game. Batum hit the three-pointer to send it into overtime, and then we lost. As far as offensive and defensive rating over the last 10, the Knicks are top 10, third in offense, 8 in defense, first in net rating. Over the last 10, the Clippers are ninth in offense, 25th in defense, 24th in net rating. On the season, though, I just want to point this out for the Clippers. On the season, they're 15th in defense, and the Knicks are 16th in defense. So on the season, defensively, they're pretty close, right? It's not going to be an easy game. Both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard can defend. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for the Knicks. Where to find me tonight, 9 p.m. The Just Nicking the Show. We usually go on Thursdays. The Knicks played last night, so we'll be going tonight and Sunday, 9ish, 10. If I go at all, Sundays are tough days for me. The morning recap show to recap the Clippers game. But anyway, let me shout out the chat on my way out the door. East Blue Drew feels that we need IQ on Kawhi and double with Grimes. Okay. Keith Turner, we got to make the playoffs first. If you rest JB, we might completely fall out of the playoff race altogether. I don't think we should rest him. To your point, Keith Turner, I agree. But if he's hurt and he can't go, he can't go. You know? Um, Shout out to Jeff Clafter, Geraldine MacGyver, Real King, Delano Steele, East Blue Drew, Ashley Inc., Walter White. Appreciate you. This is the toughest team we're gonna face on this trip. We got Walter White, can you say it again? I don't care who you're playing, who you are, how good you're on offense. You have to make shots. I would have tried the Randall Obi lineup, but we got to relax. I don't know about that. We did go small with Randall and RJ, right? I like Randall RJ better than Randall Obi. It's not like Obi was 1 for 5, and but none of them shot well. I'm not for all of the Obi fan. I'm not banging on Obi. I'm just saying he didn't shoot um well either. Ricardo, appreciate you. I don't want to see RJ back to the 3-point line just to run to get stuff at the rim. Yeah, I don't understand what that is. I mean, I guess he's setting up the drive. He's giving himself, some more space. I guess like a quarterback who backs up a little. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not. I don't like that either. IQ was still +3 despite the Brick Fest. There you go. Shout out to the coolest 718, Paris Duggar. Appreciate you. Keith Turner, of course. Sherwin, Staffer, Jarrell. I hope I got to every Thomas Banks, Real King. I might say some Ashley Inc. One, Wiz West Coast. I appreciate you. All right, I think I got Shot Powers in the building early. I appreciate you. And he left this comment. He said, tough loss last night. We were right there, missed free throws, and couldn't get a basket off of all those offensive rebounds. You are not lying. You are not lying. Um, Geraldine MacGyver didn't think Jalen Brunson should have played at all. Okay. Dwayne Dennis, the Knicks must get these two losses out of their heads quickly and concentrate on the next two games against the Clippers plus Lakers. They must rebound with wins. The Cavaliers, Nets, and Heat are all, if I have to finish that, right there. You know? I appreciate you guys rocking with me this morning. Let's not get down on the Knicks. It was just one game. Well, two games, actually. Drugs only. We still winning the chip this year. Let's not get down on this team. They showed us time after time they're fighters. Yeah, no doubt about it. Ricardo Queen, don't forget the inbound problems once again. Yeah. I think Josh Hart just had a brain fart. I think he was about to make a pass, tried to pull it back, and it slipped out of his hand, but Julius was right there wide open. So I don't understand what the hesitation um was. Ricardo, Kobe played 3 seasons with a bad ankle just to let you know how these things can linger. Yeah. 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 Um, Listen, we're still fighting for playoff positioning. If we have to finish off this West Coast trip without Brunson, it's gonna be a tough go. Doable, absolutely, but players are gonna have to step up big time, namely RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, right? They're gonna have to step up. Anyway, until next time, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live. I will be going live tonight, hopefully with Ajay. I know Jarrell said he can be there. Hopefully Stafford Don um, will be there. And anybody else who want to join, DM me. I'll send you the link. Until next time.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, New York. All my people, you rocking with the chat. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope soul.
Where you at? Where you at?